Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz and I will be guiding you on this journey today. I keep feeling called to make a little intro. I don't know, like it kind of almost feels like setting expectations. I'm not even, honestly, it keeps like cycling through my brain though to do it. And I feel like that alone is reason enough, to listen to it. So I'm not going to take any cards. I'm just going to shuffle and I'm just going to blab for a second. I'm not going to take any cards that come out though, because this is going to be the intro for all 24 readings that I do, because I cannot repeat myself that many times. Like I will legitimately implode. So, tarot for me has always been a way of organizing my thoughts and feelings. When I first got into tarot myself, like some big life things happened. And I needed to organize my thoughts. I needed to organize my feelings, and which is very Virgo moon of me with my Cancer rising, right? It's like, that the over analyzing, write everything down. And literally that's what I did. I had a whole notebook, and I had a page dedicated to every single tarot card. And I went through every tarot deck I had at the time and I wrote down the keywords. I was watching tarot videos on YouTube myself. And anytime somebody would say something about a specific card that resonated with me or was like, ooh, that's actually a really cool perspective or way of like understanding that card or combination of cards. And I would write it down in my little notebook. And then I kind of expanded from there and started giving friends and family tarot readings. But anyway, all of that is to say, right? Like I'm not psychic. I'm not claiming to be psychic. I do know these cards and I trust the cards that come out. I trust the order that they do. I trust the message that is being given to me. So funny. There's the Queen of Swords. And also, that's why I explain each card, because it's definitely part of my own processing, but also giving you information on the cards so that you can use your own discernment. You can check in with your own intuition, because we all have it. And maybe I'm not saying what is coming through for you about a specific card, but that is very much a message for you to honor. So definitely pay attention to that, right? Like definitely pay attention to any type of whispers, feelings, just things that are dropping into your consciousness as you are watching these readings, because no doubt that is a message for you. I'm more than likely not predicting necessarily anything for you. I am probably confirming what you already know to be true in your situation. But also that is very important, right? Because, if you have confirmation that, again, right, like your thoughts, your feelings, the experience, the circumstance that you're going through right now is actually what is going on, then it almost like frees up the energy. It frees up some mind space, some consciousness, almost even like opens your receptors to what's next. Like, okay, that is true. I don't have to necessarily focus on that so much anymore and kind of, spin my wheels on that. But yeah, so again, right? I mean, I may not be predicting anything for you. It's interesting because like, I don't necessarily think that's like my purpose right now, but at the same time, like I do feel like that's changing a little bit for me. And I'm keeping my receptors open, right? Like I'm welcoming the energy however it is going to change, if it does. who knows? So yeah, like I said, I'm here to confirm things. I mean, who knows? Possibly predict shit. But where I thought there was, okay. Like I thought there I saw a card that was turned over. And ultimately allow energy to flow. So anyway, I think that is all that I want to say. For the time being, I can't tell you. I have no clue if I'm going to repeat something similar in the next series of videos. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. We go where the energy takes us as long as it feels good. And it did. So we did it. And with that, we're going to get into the readings. Also, before we both forget, hit that subscribe button. Just go ahead and do it. Hit the like button. Leave a comment would be cool too. But yeah, okay. With that being said, let's get into the readings. Great. Sorry. I was distracted by my dog. So this is a reading for Aquarius, wherever Aquarius shows up in your chart. I don't have a plan for the spread. We're just shuffling until some cards come out. We have the Hierophant. That card and is there another card? No. I've seen a lot of aces throughout these readings too, but the Hierophant has come out a good amount of times. I'm not going to take that because I feel like that was kind of more operator error. I don't take the cards that flip in the deck. All of my decks, we've all had this conversation that I need commitment. It's gotta fall all the way out in order for it to be part of the message. So, how interesting. The Hermit and how both of them are, kind of in like a meditation type state. Knight of Pentacles. I feel like there might be one more. And look at all this earth, dude. Justice. Some air to break it up. The Empress at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. A lot of earth. A lot of earth. Turd in my head moving things around. This is Taurus and Libra. We start with Taurus. We end with Libra. So there could just be some things... some things going on in like that area of your life, wherever Taurus and Libra is in your chart. Uranus is in Taurus right now. I don't really think that there's, not that I can think of, anything like in Libra. I know this weekend, well, by the time I post this, it will have already happened, but the last solar eclipse, I think, right, with Aries is going to have been, or, has happened. The sister sign to Libra. But, yeah. Anyway. How interesting is that, though? Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it comes through in the reading, but the Hierophant is about traditional institutions, but more so than that, it's the passing along of information. So, traditional institutions could be school, just higher education, some sort of a training class. It could, of course, always be like a job too. Because usually, like when you start a job, like you go through training, you develop skills, like you bring your skill set to the job too, but there is, again, like just an exchange in some capacity. In this card, though, right, like we have this yoga instructor, two students. I mean, you could be any one of these people on the card too. You could be the person who is leading, who is sharing, the knowledge. Like this person would be somebody who has an expertise, who has the experience, who already has the training or the education, right? And they would be leading other people, maybe too, like being in a leadership position, sharing your knowledge, like, just kind of taking people through a course, maybe training or, offering a training in some aspect. Or, of course, you could be one of these people here who are being led. Maybe you're deciding to go back to school. Maybe you're deciding to take a course, change jobs. It doesn't even have to be, well, it could be within the same company, of course. Because as soon as I said change jobs, it was like, well, you don't have to leave where you're at. And no, you don't, right? You could apply for a different position within, the same organization, of course, too. It could be meeting a mentor. It could be meeting even a recruiter. But like I said, it's interesting how they have this kind of meditative posture, right? Maybe even like going on a retreat or hosting a retreat. Because like, what do we do when we meditate, right? And of course, it doesn't even necessarily have to be literally meditation, like as far as like sitting there, it might be. Like you might need to literally sit there, get quiet, like detach from thoughts, like the whole thing, like with meditation, right, is to learn to observe your thoughts, not be part of them or affected by them, involved, like with them. It's the art of just letting them pass. It's the art of getting quiet enough to hear yourself, hear your intuition, hear, like where you are being called to go. And, at the end of, every yoga practice that I had ever been involved with, there's Savasana, right? Did I say that right? Savasana? Shavasana? Why does that sound weird coming out of my mouth? It's been a long time, actually, since I have taken a yoga class. So maybe I'm not pronouncing that correct. But, it's like you go through the whole practice of yoga, right? And at the end, it's getting quiet, resting your body, coming back into your body, taking deep breaths, right? Like just really giving yourself those couple minutes to not be responsible for anything, to, not worry about anything. Like I said, to observe those thoughts, watch them pass by. Don't attach yourself to them. Very interesting. And then again, with the Hermit card, this is Virgo. I believe the Knight of Pentacles might be Virgo too. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is about like going within, introspection. Again, right? Like they're sitting around this campfire. To me, it appears like they're meditating. Maybe even getting out into nature too. Like all this earth here, like truly, if it is accessible to you, getting out into nature, putting your bare feet on some grass, on some dirt, in some sand, grounding yourself. Because also too, right? Like this is a huge grounding practice, literally putting your root as close to the earth as it could possibly get, right? Setting the intention to be grounded. The Hermit card also talks about healing. It talks about, the path being unique to you. Generally, in the Hermit card, or traditionally in the Hermit card, they have a lantern with a star in it, which is interesting, right? Since the star card is your tarot card. I don't see a star like in this depiction of the Hermit, but they're being led by their faith in the process, by what they want to manifest and create in their own lives, right? And truly, it is a path that is unique to you. It's one thing here, right, to acquire the knowledge, the wisdom, right? I mean, listen to people who have cleared paths ahead of you, right? Like the trailblazers, but also recognize that you have the capacity to forge your own path, which I feel like is maybe also too like very Aquarian, like not necessarily approaching traditional teachings the same way, but also like understanding the traditional principles of a thing, but then going about it differently, or accomplishing it differently, or whatever. Truly making it your own. But you have that basis of knowledge, of wisdom, and can see something different. The Knight of Pentacles is literally making the decision to head in that direction. The Knight of Pentacles is also like the slowest moving knight out of the 4 knights. There's a dedication aspect, a commitment aspect. It's also even just recognizing that in the material plane, in the 3D where we are, it takes time for things to actualize. You do have to put your resources and materials into, like, invest that into yourself, into the project, into, the thing that you are looking to build. You have to invest your physical time and your presence, right? Even like focusing on your health so that you feel good, and prioritizing rest. Even I feel like, rest is a very earthy thing too, because it's, it's recognizing when they're, or it's recognizing that rest is just as important as the hustle. Like, why was that so hard to get out of my mouth? It's truly like one of those things of like, actually what keeps coming up for me with this specific Knight of Pentacles for some reason is the whole tortoise and the hare thing. And how the hare was all, kind of cocky, being put up next to this tortoise, and they're like, oh my God, I could fucking run circles around this thing, right? So they got all cocky and took off running. And then they were like, you know what? I have enough time. I'm going to take a nappy poo. Didn't set an alarm because, of course not, right? Arrogance. And the tortoise passed him and won the race. And all they did was remain consistent. They kept a pace that they were comfortable with, and they just kept moving forward. So anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, I'm always like reminded that, or I always like put out this reminder that to not gauge the success of something on the pace of it. Like, if you do something and you don't immediately get the response that you thought you would, or whatever, right? Like, it's just not happening overnight type of thing. Like, don't allow the mindset to come in to think that is a failure. Just keep moving forward, right? Like, keep practicing, keep working on it, keep putting it out there, keep on keeping on. Even, there's these tools here, like, and it just like feels like craftsmanship. And of course, that could be like in the literal sense, but truly anything that we do, and I was talking about skill over here, right? Anything that we do, the more that we do it, the repetition, the more too that we understand the thing, we're playing around with it. We're learning from others, keeping an open mind to other perspectives of a thing. Then it just makes our craft even that much better. The Justice card is Libra. It's the scales balancing, fairness, objective, truth too, remaining in integrity. I also feel like it's a little bit of fate, like, kind of cashing in on some karma. So again, and with it, first of all, being at the end of the reading, second of all, next to the Knight of Pentacles, truly the amount of effort that you put into whatever this is for you will pay off. You will get back what you put into it in all aspects, right? Like I was saying, being in integrity, the amount of time, effort that you put into it, the amount of learning, right? Like being open to whatever, to conversations, to perspectives, to even, a different approach to things. The effort that you put into this will pay off. Like I said, we have the Empress, something's brewing, Page of Wands, King of Wands, Two of Cups. So like I said, the Empress is Taurus and Libra. It's Venus. Venus is retrograde right now, right? And I think it went back into Pisces already. Like I was saying, right? Like the whole meditation thing, getting quiet enough to hear your own guidance. What is it that you do want to create here? Because, the Empress is pregnant, which, it would be a good omen if you are looking to expand your family. But in the tarot, pregnancy represents literal creation. What is it that you want to create out of your own image here? Taking the things that you learn, the path that you have been on, or the path that you see yourself on. And, how is that potentially even going to change? But yeah, like what is it that you are, that is being incubated right now? That you're, molding. She is still pregnant, so it's not quite there yet, right? It's not actually birthed yet. So there's still time, to make some decisions, get clear on things. This is also the divine feminine. So it's, the energy, not necessarily the gender, but it is intuition, nurturing, receiving too, right? Like the divine feminine isn't going to chase. They will receive. Even being able to reproduce, abundance, opportunity. Then we have the Page of Wands. Wands are about, it's fire. So I was going to say creativity first, which is in there, passion, taking action towards something, the motivation behind the actions that you take, trying things. The Page of Wands is like all that they really care about is adventure. Like they're not really going to pin themselves down to anything or feel obligated to choose something. Like, I mean, truly, like they're walking down this path here and this other path opens up or, shows up. And the cat is like, hey, look over here. And they're like, F it. YOLO, right? Like, fuck it. Let's see what's over there. Trying things, like throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. And truly, too, like, really the only way to figure a lot of shit out is by trying it. Say it out loud. Practice on friends or family, or offer a free, whatever, consultation, like whatever, right? Like, just try it. See how it goes. Don't think that you can't change your mind either. Because you always can. As many times as you want to. Even too, like with it being between the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles. Again, like it still feels like really honing in on what it is that you are creating. And this is like the trying stage. And then over here we go from the Page to the King, which I love. A progression like that. And that it's between the Knight of Pentacles and the Justice card. Like this is the perfect, I think, card to be between those things. Because the King is the highest expression of the suit. Right? Like there's a confidence here. Making decisions. Exploring, new places. Even too, keeping that adventure attitude. And wisdom. Trusting the knowledge that you have. You've tried all of these different things. You have all that information available to you. The things that you have tried. What has worked? What hasn't worked? What have you liked? What didn't you like? What stays? What goes? Like, what can you draw from? The skills that you picked up along the way. The confidence too. Also, the King of Wands is like the entrepreneur of the tarot. To me, like you're not really going to tell the King of Wands what to do. Like I feel like the King of Wands needs to have creative freedom. They want to establish their own goals and they want to achieve those goals in the best way they know how. The Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, making connections, shared values. Not to mention, I feel like these people could be these same people on the Hierophant card just because of their hair colors. No other reason. So, if you are like in partnership or even, of course that can be romantic, your spouse or your significant other, whatever aspect that is. It could be, a business partner. It could be family or friends. But, it's like everybody is on the same page. There's also even an interest or effort from them to be involved. And over here, like this specific Two of Cups, it just feels so content to me. Like when I try to put myself in the position of, sitting on a beach with whoever, with a significant other, with a friend, with, even a boss or, coworker, peer, whoever. And, the sun is setting, you're clinking wine glasses. Like it just has this feeling of accomplishment, relaxation. Again, like I said, contentment. In this moment, in this present moment, everything is great. Even this cat is giving this fish. That scared me. This cat is giving this other cat a fish. There's this exchange of energy happening. Both people have their full cup, feeling fulfilled, right? Feeling purposeful, feeling good. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.